Hey, and welcome to NUFC Talk. You're joined with Glenn and Yanis. How are you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate. I'm very good. How are you feeling?
Well, I'm not the best. You're probably going to have to carry us through this next 45 minutes, mate. So, for the regular listeners, I think I mentioned last week I went to the England cricket yesterday.
Yeah.
And the hottest day in UK history, decided to sit in the pavilion stand at Durham, where the sun starts at the left-hand side. Works its across the entire day.
And there's no shade, hardly any shade at Durham, is there?
Nah, there's no shade unless you're like in the boxes. A little bit of like overhangs and gives them some covering. You know what I mean? Me mate, me dad, we just sat there for the full day. Naturally, we drank beer for the full day as well with a couple of cheeky waters.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a weird one. Like today, I don't feel hungover. My body just feels beaten because being sat in the sun for the full day.
Sweltering, man.
Yeah, it was like a pint of sun cream, pint of lager. That was the ratio went in, and not actually burnt, no pink anywhere that I'm aware of. So
Big hat?
I just have a baseball cap.
Did you?
Yeah, just rotate the cap round like a clock.
Yeah,
It was like
a sundial.
Yeah, it was like a sundial. At one point it was like a funny 4 o'clock angle, but I was cool enough to pull it off. Not.
I went to Scotland at the weekend to a lake, a place called Fox Lake in Dunbar.
Alright.
And met a couple of my pals, and we did like a sort of course over the lake.
Good.
That's pretty good, like good laugh.
What was the weather like up there?
It was good. So it was warm, but we went on Sunday because one of the lads was at the Open, so we had to rearrange. So we went on Sunday, so it was warm without being sunny.
Yeah.
But then on Monday, when I was like travelling back after a skinful, I was like, oof, this is warm, like.
You felt that one. We were at Newcastle, St James's Park on Saturday for a work conference, so I'll put some of the pictures on that.
I look good, that like.
Yeah, if you don't follow us on social media, get us NUFC Talk Pod, and that'll bring us up on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. If you want to get us directly, that's where I put the photos on my Twitter feed. So I'm Glenn _NUFC.
At Yanis NUFC on Twitter.
Yeah, we got to go in the Milburn stand and had all the conference rooms there, which is really good. Then we did some breakout sessions where like smaller teams for the talks, and because there wasn't any small enough rooms, they put us in the boxes at the top.
Nice.
So yeah, the room I was hosting, if you like to say, was actually one of the boxes.
Right.
So that was cool. Got to sit there for the full day and got food brought up and that. Yeah, it was class.
What's the grub like?
Really good. But you know, you've done some conferences before. It's normally pretty crap, but yeah, it was way better than going to the other hotels in town. Yeah, good crack.
Decent.
Yeah. Anyway, should we go and talk some football?
And there has been some football.
There has been, yeah.
Been some football. So obviously we've had a trip to Austria. Last time we brought you the breaking news of the go-kart race.
Yeah. What else has been happening in Austria, mate?
Yeah, well, there's obviously been some matches. So we played the 2 pre-season. I watched the first one. I didn't watch all of the. I know you watched some of the Mainz game, but I did watch the first game. Beat 1860 Munich 3-0. It was like weird. It was like first half we were absolutely awful.
Yeah.
And then and the second half.
Was that 3-0 that one?
That was 3-0. Second half we kind of bossed the game and won. But we bossed the game the whole. I mean, the standard there, they were like second or third tier or something in Germany.
Really?
Yeah, Munich 1860. So like we should have bossed the game, but second half was good. Some decent goals. Shelby made a lung busting run. Believe it or not, to set the first one up for Willock, and then Bruno got a goal and assist. Classic Bruno.
Yeah.
Just a wee goal and assist. Just another day in the office for him. So it was good. And then we played Mainz, who finished 8th or 9th or something in League 1, which is a different kettle of fish. Thought we played better. No, for throughout that game. Although second half we were in the 1860 Munich game we were better. But then we lost 1-0. But have you seen the goal?
No.
So Trippier, he's got a free kick in their half, just inside their half. And not just 10 yards or something inside their half, right hand side, like. So you can lump it in the box. And he does the classic thing where you like hit it against a player who's not 10 yards away.
Yeah.
And he's like maybe 6-7 yards away. But the ref just lets it play on. And then I think it's the actual player makes a run round them on the outside. He gets put straight through. And the Brav card doesn't cover himself in glory. He comes out, but he's like comes out flat instead of making himself big and gets done. So I was thinking like, I know it's pre-season, but robbed, absolutely robbed.
I stuck it on for a bit and I watched part of the first half and I thought it'd be good to try and like bring something back which you could learn from it. Well, all I saw was Botman look good on the ball, but then there weren't people.
He does, like, doesn't he?
There wasn't many people pressuring him, and I watched 10-15 minutes and the players looked a bit tired, which I think Hal mentioned, which you're going to mention in a bit.
Yeah.
So I thought I'm not going to sit and watch this for another hour if the players didn't look like they were giving it rock all. So it was all right. There wasn't much to write home about.
I think like overall, like it's takeaways. It's just good. It's good to see us have like a structure. Well, I feel like we're having a structured pre-season for the first time in a long time. You imagine Rafa's pre-season, albeit it wouldn't have been the same kind of budget, would have probably been meticulous.
Yeah.
But Bruce's would have probably been like, right, boys, get some scran in you. Turn up on 2:00 on Saturday.
Yeah.
Whatever you do between then, it's all right. But I think with this, it seems it's been well put together. That was all about fitness, just getting some minutes in people's legs. 45 minutes. I think Eddie Howe was like interviewed afterwards, and he basically said that it was good to see us get a lot of the ball. He said one thing. He said with that cutting edge, we controlled the first 2/3 of the pitch with that cutting edge. But then he said that we haven't worked in that phase of play yet in pre-season, which is interesting. So there must have been.
Do you think that's a nod to the fact he was hoping maybe to have another forward in the squad before they started working through like the phase players or the more the tactics in the final third? What some of the
maybe it's a bit of that, or maybe it's more him just kind of developed as a coach now. He probably 5 years ago would have been like, let's score lots of goals first. Now he's like, let's keep clean sheets and let's win the ball back and let's try and dominate games with or without the ball.
Yeah. I must admit, it's the first time I've been actually remotely interested, for a long time, to actually look at the friendly, see what's going on, actually go to them as well.
The friendly, yeah, it's interesting, that, isn't it? It's tell like the vibe of the club is just even now, like
even when we were there at Saturday for the conference, the stand was always busy, like in the people coming through on tours and whatnot. And I pulled one of the lasses at the end. I said, "Oh, it looked like you've had a really busy day. Like, how many tours you doing?" And there's a few of them rotating. She said that was her 6th tour of the day, and there was a few other people that were doing it wrong because you could see them like in a big loop.
Interesting.
Like, that's why I didn't expect it to be that busy. She goes, "Oh, it hasn't always been this busy." So it just shows you how in so many different ways how it's bringing revenue into the club.
Absolutely,
and how people are getting more interested to go on the change rooms, and you can see all the kids walking out under the touchline and that.
Class, that. It's only going to get more and more, that, isn't it? I think you go pre-season between the first season halfway through a takeover, I think, in terms of halfway through that season, when the difference in the vibe. But yeah, it was interesting. I just think overall Austria like seems like it's been successful. A couple of our takeaways, and Anderson, I think him sort of a lot of comments around him just sort of fitting in and not looking out of not looking out of place around the first team.
Do you think they're going to try and play him in, give him some minutes in the Premier League then this half?
Don't know. 5 subs. 5 subs is the one thing to consider.
That's going to be weird getting used to 5 subs being made.
At least for your dream team. If you've got players that don't play in your FPL League now, you'd be absolutely furious. 5 subs. 5 subs if someone you've captain doesn't start or doesn't play.
Yeah, no.
You'd be absolutely raging. Or even worse, if you captain somebody who doesn't start, you guarantee they're coming on.
Yeah.
That one point at the end of the game.
2 points of the captain.
Yeah. So, I don't know. That I think he'll probably end up going out on loan to the Championship.
Would you loan him out or would you keep him?
I think I'd probably loan him out one more season.
Yeah.
The higher level, yeah. It was League 2 that season. I know we had is it League 1? Is it League 2?
League 2.
It was League 2. I mean, League 2 is like shite compared to the Premier League, isn't it? So, space and time, no one is drifting through players like playing 8-a-sided on a Monday night with me. So, I think I'd probably loan him to the I think Championship. See if you can play in a mid to like lower league Championship.
Yeah. Maybe Eddie Howe's just having like, look, come on the full pre-season, let's have a look at you through all summer. You get to train with the squad, you get some coaching up Eddie Howe and the rest of his staff, and then when it's getting closer to the season, then loan him out. At least he's getting pre-season extra coaching directly from our training staff, opposed to a Championship or League One squad.
Yeah, do this whole pre-season 100%. I think it'll be the end of the pre-season when the season start, and if he goes out on loan. I think one thing about him is because of 5 subs. Can he get minutes every 2 or 3 games, and then does he, with a slightly improved squad, can we have a better cup run? Can he put together 10, 15 appearances? And if Eddie Howe looks in this pre-season thing, you know what? If I look at him versus if I look in, say,
like a Matt Ritchie or a Murphy maybe, or Lewis.
Yeah, if I look at those kind of players that are like sort of fringe players, not so much Ritchie because he's probably more of an established senior member of the squad, even though he's not going to play much. But certainly players like sort of Murphy and Almiron, even Fraser, can he play some games in amongst them? Can he get some? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I see him play, I think he looks quality. I ended up streaming some of the Scotland under-21 games a few months back just to watch him play.
Did you?
Yeah, he's got some good. He's
committed, mate.
I just think it's not often we get to get a local lad who people are talking about being the next best thing, but certainly having an actual career.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe. What would you do? Would you loan him up? Would you?
Yeah,
Championship.
From what I've seen, he looks decent. Hopefully, we should have enough this season not to warrant or not to need to keep him. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you're only going to give him 10 games off the bench, because you still got to think cup runs. If we get a cup run, that's maybe it could be 2 games where we play in cup sometimes.
Yeah.
Hopefully, even if it's half a dozen games, that's still only going to take you to like 40 games. You'd want him to have at least 10 to 15 games to keep all of them.
You said about Joey Barton at Bristol in League One.
As much as
it is a step up. Definitely
a step up. It is a step up, but if you're trying to bring his career forward a bit faster, would you not put him in the Championship?
I think so. I think Eddie Howe's comments early on in his loan spell at Bristol, he was asked by reporters in sort of one of these pre-match conferences been monitoring sort of Elliot Anderson, and I don't know if it was a dig. Because sure, I mean, all he does the loan manager something now, and I don't know if it was a dig at him, but he was saying like, I've like what I've seen. I haven't seen a huge amount of around the place here, but I've seen reports coming back from his loan. I think it needs to be the higher standard. So I think certainly if he's going to loan him out, it won't be back to League 1, League 2, and I would imagine he's going to try and get him in the Championship.
You'd want to see him with a high Championship side as well. If you want to get him in the Premier League, like. Why would he not be? It's
a toss-up though between high Championship, is he going to play all the time? Between like lower Championship, playing every week. Do you know what I
mean? Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Interesting.
But yeah, so and then other takeaways. I know it's one chance, but like, and I was kind of pro Dubravka keeping the shape. But one chance, I'm like, Nick Pope saves that. so I'm so fickle me now.
Yeah.
Like, but
the last 2 weeks you've been like, nah, I'm sticking with Dubravka.
I just think that that's Dubravka in a nutshell. It could have been a couple of worldies. There wasn't any worldies, but easily could have pulled off a few worldies, and then a chance we think I could do better there. So
you're pro Pope now, eh?
Yeah. Well, I'm on the fence now. I was pro Dubs, now I'm on the fence. Got the saves with Pope in Portugal, and I'm pro Pope.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, like it was. I guess it's just probably a lot of team togetherness and all that sort of stuff. Like it's probably done the team the world ago, getting players like Sven Botman and
Pope.
Nick Pope, obviously, sort of bedded into the squad and feel more easy to the squad. And then they've got Portugal coming up. I think they're back in England for a couple of days, and then over to Portugal.
Yeah, so there's got one game in. It's Benfica. It's Benfica they're playing.
Yeah.
And then the back in St James's on the 29th and 30th, isn't it? So
they're what Eddie Howe's his crack was he talked a little bit about Botman in his interview, saying he's composed and all that kind of thing. when he talked about Portugal, he said there's going to be 2 games there. There's probably less training in that because they've been hammering them, but for obviously fitness wise.
Yeah.
But they've been building them up from 45 to 60 minutes back in a big pitch, obviously. But now they'll be looking to get 90 minutes, so you're probably going to see these if you're going to watch any pre-season, it's probably to watch the next couple of games, because that might give us a bit of an indicator how the shape wants to play, who he sees fitting where, because you're not going to give 90 minutes to players that aren't playing. You give 90 minutes to players that you're expecting to be starting.
You mentioned the pre-seasons have been tough ones there. Dan Burn, I can't remember if his granddad or his uncle works with Mark, father-in-law.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he said that it's been a tough pre-season. They've been doing like double sessions.
Yeah, that's one thing. They're doing a double session nearly every day in Austria.
So for a player to actually make a comment saying, look, it's been the toughest one, and with him being in Brighton, like you imagine, and we all know Brighton are trained within an inch of their lives. Like Potter's got the max out of the budget and the players he's had down in Brighton, so there'd be no Steve Bruce training sessions down there like one a week playing with a penny floor. It's all been like so for him to come out and say it's been tough, it does get you excited for what Eddie Howe did with no pre-season and coming in to a sinking ship, and obviously that 10-day trip he did to Saudi. Can you remember when he went over there when it was international?
Kieran Clark was knocking folk out left, right and centre.
Yeah, so to have a full Eddie Howe and his trainers and his background staff doing a full pre-season, it's going to be exciting to see your team come out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Because we saw a change in fitness.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
When Howe took over, so God, it is exciting to see.
It's also it'd be interesting for individual players like Longstaff, who you will all see fade in a game, could never stay with a runner.
Yeah.
Shelby's another one. Like those two in particular, like players like Hayden and stuff, and maybe more natural athletes, they all seem to be in the game for like 90 minutes. But certainly Longstaff, you used to think, God, he never looked anywhere near the pace. But
imagine if Longstaff with the pre-season with Eddie Howe goes back to the potential that everybody saw when Man United were poking around for 40 million a few seasons.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see that. There's a few players individually that you think like you'd like to see them get be fit, proper fit. But yeah,
Carl Wilson.
I just seen him fit. But yeah, so all in all, it seems it's been a really good trip.
If there's anything you've taken away which we haven't mentioned from any of the friendlies you watched so far, drop us a comment and let us know what your thoughts have been. Another announcement which came out start of the week, 1 day ago, 2 days ago, was Lacelles being confirmed as club captain.
Yeah.
So I put a tweet up yesterday, and as far as I'm aware, when I last checked, it was just people agreeing. There was no abuse came in, so I wasn't sure if this was going to split opinions. So I wrote something along the lines of, I thought it was an Eddie Howe masterstroke. Lascelles is liked by the squad, loves the team, speaks very well, is a good ambassador. You always see him at like
events the community and stuff.
Charity,
He's good at that, like
good in the community. So I don't really have a problem with him being club captain, and I think it is a good move, because it's becoming more popular now with squads as well, where they have match day captains, where Lascelles, he's going to be 4th choice centre half now, you'd imagine, behind Sharp, Botman,
Big Dan
Burn. So he's probably not going to play as many games. Some rotation, he's injury cover cup games if there's against a lower team.
Yeah.
So I think he knows he's rolling the squad as well, doesn't he? He's not going to be delusional. If anything, if he does get games through merit, which is fair play to him. So yeah, what was your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought as long as he was still there, he was going to be captain. I wasn't expecting him stripping the captain off him. I was only expecting potentially he could be sold. But I think you and I spoke about a couple of weeks back that as the season folded up and stuff, I didn't think he was going to be sold. I thought he'd still be here. I think it's probably also a testament to how he's handled not being in the team as club captain.
Yeah,
that's probably really important. It's a bit of an indicator if he got the captaincy taken off him. He's probably been a bit of a shitebag about not playing as captain. But if the fact that he still clearly has some sort of respect level commander amongst the rest of the players, Eddie Howe obviously thinks highly of him. He's not the first manager to keep him having the armband. It's like 3 or 4 or something, and now he's had the armband with. So yeah, you can be set standards around lots of other things, around just the general stuff, the timekeeping, the focus in training and all that sort of stuff. Like if they're doing briefings, like
sort of team meetings and
all that,
general attitude around players.
100%, 100%. So you can be a leader in that sense. What I did think was interesting though was, well, not interesting, but it was a proper sign up. But I did notice it when they did that video on the go-karting. Everyone cycled in, from obviously wherever the accommodation was, and the first person cycled in was Trippier, and then everyone else followed him. After a little bit, they were cycling on their own, ones, twos, whatever. But Trippier was the first guy in, and I did notice that. I was like, yeah, there you go. Trying to be first in all your trips.
Because I've made a list here of potential captains and people who've had the armband on, and for once, I think this is what Newcastle is missing. Is we don't just have Lacelles as being captain, and this I don't mean this disrespectfully, over the last few seasons, because there's probably been no one else to take it.
Oh yeah, so that's one point. Yeah,
through being a regular choice or
obviously moved on.
Yeah. So we've actually got several leaders on the pitch, which is great. You mentioned obviously Trippier there. Wilson's wore the armband a couple of times towards the back end of the season. Shelvey obviously wore for a stint as well. And then you got in defence as well when Byrne came and joined. He looked like a leader at the back.
Yeah.
Shah, he's wore it once or twice as well.
Yeah, I think Shah's probably an odd one because for somebody who was probably just a forgotten man for like 2 seasons, but you'd probably say there is like a natural leader in him, but I think he's probably more erratic. I would my sliding scale of who I'd have. Trippier's the no-brainer.
So 5 names there which I mentioned is Wilson, Shelvey, Trippier, Shah, and Byrne. Is there anyone else you would add to that list?
I would have said Dubravka if he hadn't signed Pope, because I think he's part of the. I think he's probably part of the leadership circle. Yeah. He's well into his 30s. He's an international with a bunch of caps and stuff. That's what you want in a leader. I think Fede Fernandez would be another one who, if who probably 2 seasons ago you'd have been expecting to wear the armband at times. So sorry, really cool.
There's a bit of ice just come out of this can. His fridge has been doing a good job. Sorry, in case there's no choked on a can there with some ice in it. Sorry.
I would say that for me, the no-brainer is Trippier.
Yeah.
I think he will wear on if he plays, unless Lascelles plays. Then Shelvey. Then Wilson.
Wilson, yeah.
Probably, yeah. And that in that order for me.
I agree.
So if those 2 don't play it, only because and I've batted Shelvey sometimes, but I was if I just defended him for like 6 months longer, I would have always defended him. But yeah, I think he's obviously he's a senior pro now.
Just looks good, doesn't he? His interview in the last day or 2 as well.
No, I've not seen that.
So he was getting interviewed obviously in Austria, and he said he's looking forward to the new season, etc. And I'm paraphrasing. He's got 3 games left to play, and he triggers a clause in his contract, which will add another season on. So you'd be very surprised if he didn't play 3 games. So he'll actually be with us for this season plus 2 more.
Yeah.
So he's going to be here for a lot of the evolution of the team, because you think the next 3 years is going to be a lot of changes.
He probably is like Wilson, who was probably coasting under the previous regime.
Yeah.
And has now thought, you know what, I've only got one real crack at this. Like, I might only get to Europe. I might play in some European games. He's not going. No, he ain't going to be there when we're winning titles and Champions League sort of runs and that sort of stuff. But they can be there when to a challenging in Europe and that, and they can be the first sort of good nights that St James's for a long time.
Because they're both 30 now, aren't they?
Yeah.
So you think next 2-3 seasons, Europa League run?
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. And if Shelvey gets to be heavily involved in that and is a mainstay in the side, then class. There's a sort of best end to your career, really, isn't it? Gotta be picky of both their careers. So yeah, they'd be my 2, and then after that there'd be probably a bunch of other candidates. Big time, and probably be one Shah, Fernandez, if he's involved and that sort of stuff. But
yeah, I think Fernandez is way down the pecking order, though, mate.
I think he's going to be here though. I don't think he's going to be going anywhere. He's going to be staying.
But he's probably 5th or 6th choice centre half, you would think.
But he's like clearly a natural leader, then he though. He's won the armband plenty for Newcastle in the past.
Yeah. And then, have you got another point you want to bring up there, mate?
No, I said, mate, that's everything.
So, Sky News today has been reporting that there's been interest around Lingard from Notts Forest and West Ham. So West Ham have been talking to him obviously for a while. Then Forest came in today and bettered an offer. They offered him more wages than West Ham did.
Oh, he'd be mad to go Notts Forest.
So the reason I'm asking these questions is, should we not be still in conversation with somebody? So Jesse Lingard's in conversation with West Ham and Forest. McGill, McNeil, sorry. McGill. That's yesterday kicking in, sorry. McNeil. There's Palace in talks with him as well. Is he someone you would take? And then obviously Corney as well. Said 3 names are wrote down, and there's been a few loose reports that will put a £24 million bid in for Jack Harrison.
I think Marcel Corney would definitely be one, like, because he can play up top. Probably play wide, either side of a front three.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously knows where the goal is. Lingard for me is just like it's about wages, man. It's about wages. I don't.
Then how's Forest come in and offered more money than West Ham?
Because they don't mind upsetting the apple cart. They've got to risk a few things to stay in the league. It's a gamble for them to pay him 180 grand a week or whatever he wants. But like he might keep them in the Premier League. For us, we're building something. We don't need to upset Saint, Wilson, Trippier, Bruno. You can't have Jesse Lingard coming in ahead of. You can get paid
everybody.
more. We get paid more than everything, and I'm not like miserly about the club's money because it makes no difference to me what they spend. But like, it's more the fact that what does it do to the rest of the players, and then what it inflates from them. If you then raise everyone up by 30% to kind of get towards where he's at, the next set of people you sign, or like the expectations are they all get that, then the FFP's all shifted slightly. Got a knock-on effect from sending one guy like who I think is really good. And if we can get him on what we're paying Bruno, but 100% get him. You've seen what he did in West Ham in half a season. It was absolute class. Yeah. Genuinely brilliant. Like,
so yeah, they're looking 120 grand for Trippier and Bruno. They were our top ends now, aren't they?
Something about that, yeah. So yeah, because the talk was we tripled Bruno's wages, haven't we, to get him to 120. Was it quadrupled from 30? Quadrupled from 30, yeah. And Trippier will probably be the same
amount. Just imagine, we on 30 grand, we'll just quadruple that, mate. Don't worry about it.
But imagine, we're absolutely smashing our wage sort of banding out the water to bring a player in.
Mm-hmm.
Who clearly, by the way, is just cash money driven at this time.
Of course he's
as they all are, but...
He's 30 now, isn't he?
Nah, he's 21, isn't he? That's all the banter when Jesse Lingard... When he grows up, when he gets into a player, he's going to be good.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's that old. I think he's like 28 or something like that. No, he's 26, I think.
No.
I saw a recent...
Google that. I think you're wrong there.
I can't. My phone's recording. I reckon I'm sure I saw a TikTok where he did some daft TikTok and someone was like, mate, you're 26.
Nah, I reckon that's wrong. Whoever's typed that one is...
Maybe he's probably been doing that for like 5 years. 31.
He's been sharing it.
Yeah.
Alright, then...
Who's the other one? Dwight McNeil. I would have taken Dwight McNeil, but he didn't do anything last season.
He's only 23, so he's got room to grow.
He's on TikTok, yes or no? That's the major thing. Like, that's where everyone now, after Lingard's TikTok, how good is he at TikTok?
Yeah.
Because Lingard's legit. Now, I think... I don't know, how much of an improvement is he on... that season before last, I would have said, 100%. His breakthrough season than the season after.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather Harrison over him. McNeil, I think. Even though Harrison's older than him. He's legitimately 26, isn't he?
I thought he was 25. Thereabouts. So, Harrison, 24 million. I think that'd be a steal. I'm starting to come round it because I know you were pro and I wasn't sure if he's the right one, but I'm thinking he could definitely do a job now. Yeah.
And that was the one thing I didn't get through with those points I'd written down about that is the kind of drop off in 2 areas. The drop off from Wilson. I know we all know this, but it's highlighted even more on the drop off like from one side, Maxi, the other side, like even like Fraser, I like Fraser.
Yeah.
And he's good. I don't think he lets you down or anything like that, but there's worlds apart, aren't they? Like, there's levels of this shit, as people say.
The second striker thing does worry me.
Big time, yeah.
Yeah, we seem to be. I know there's plenty of time to go, but it just seems like people are trying to see what they can get for us, and we're being linked with another player from RB Leipzig.
Don't even know.
Some guy called Sacco or something like that. He's a forward. So anyway, I saw a tweet today where someone had wrote, "Oh, Sacco's my favourite player," as of 10 minutes ago, and I found out he's linked with
I was going to say, like, I have no idea who he is, but next week, wait, because we'll have every fact under the sun from Sacco. We'll be absolute Sacco stooges.
Yeah, he's like Botman. Watched him for years. Great.
Never heard of him, mate. You know, like
great centre.
Botman. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He made his debut back in.
Yeah, I think I've heard of him before.
Born in the year. So I think said it before. I don't think we'll sign a striker. I think we'll loan a striker. We'll hoist some big money round. Last couple of weeks before the season, this is what I think will happen. Players like, I'm not saying it's going to be Broja, but someone like a Broja, somebody who is young enough but probably good enough to still play 15, 20 games, will throw 5 million for a loan fee. That's what I think will happen. But I do think we'll sign a winger.
I think that there are a lot of clubs, and look, it happens every transfer window, which is why transfer deadline day is so busy and class to watch as a football fan. Where clubs are like, no, just pushing it to the limit to find out where they're going to go, because the agents, they'll have an inkling. They've already said, look, this guy wants to leave, he wants to come to your club, and the club will be like, no, until they see what that number's going to be.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that'll be happening all the time. That if you get Jack Harrison, say we have got only 24 million, and they're like, yeah, 10 too short. 34 million for a player who is a solid player with 5-6 seasons to go before his career's done in the Premier League with 2 years Premier League experience. But for a player that starts and improves your starting lineup, that's just par for the course now.
It's a going rate at the moment, isn't it?
It is, and that's not like judging off Chris Wood because we paid that beyond because of his he's obviously his get up close and all that. But I think
Chris Wood's a different sign. I've mentioned this before. We paid the price based on what we needed at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
He wasn't worth 25 million to anybody else.
No.
But for us at the time, what we needed, he was worth 25 million and did the job and was worth it.
It's only the numbers are only skewed because we've done so good in business elsewhere. Like getting Trippier and Target for combined total of
Paul.
Yeah, all those. That's all brilliant business. But in reality, if you want to go and pull somebody who starts from a Premier League outfit, who's got 10 goals or what, been involved in 10, 12 goals last season, if you pay 30 million now, it's not the 90s anymore. Do you know what I mean? You're getting Zidane back in the 90s for 30 million. Now you get Jack Harrison. I generally think that's how it is. And there's very little risk in him. Never misses a game at all. Hasn't missed a game for years. In terms of actually, if you look at the numbers he played at, he's played he's fit all the time. So from the Championship beyond, even when Bielsa was running him at the ground, he was still fit in the Championship. 50 games a season. Get yourself out there, son.
Yeah, his ankles were just duct taped together.
Just leaves his boots on. Yeah. Just leaves his boots on all the time.
Don't take off my feet, will swell. Takes his boots off at the end of the last game, and that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. His missus the boots on again. I can't take them off. So yeah, I think for him, that is par for the course now, man. That's just the going rate these days for a guy who's going to come in and be involved in 10, 12, 15 goals in a season. I think he's solid. I like him. I think he's solid. I think he improves us.
I still think we're going to have a player in our starting 11 who we don't even know yet.
You think it's going to be Diaby? But it's not going to be him now, is it?
It's not him. But someone like a Botman or this Sacco character that's come out of nowhere, TK, no one knew who the fuck he was until we've signed him, and now everyone's like, oh, he's got the Paris Saint-Germain. It'd be someone...
And good on him now, by the way. Of course he would.
Yeah, fair enough.
If you're French and you're kidding, goes play next to Mbappe and Neymar or sit on a bench or not even on the bench, just get in the bus with with Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi. I'm sure I'd be doing that rather than coming to play with Ryan Fraser and freaking Dwight Gale. Do you know what I mean? Though that's what I would be. Like, Newcastle fans would be like, "Oh well, Sodom, he's not going to win the Champions League yet. He doesn't care. He's not asked."
It's true. I saw some of the comments on that, like, "Oh, we offered him more money. You can't believe he said no." I can't. I completely understand it, and I agree with him.
Of course.
But anyway, yeah. But what do we know? More than some.
Well, yeah, limited hour. But there you go.
And then, mate, where do you think we're finishing at the moment? Then, if our squad doesn't improve, which I would like to think it will, I still would love to see one or two additions, whether it's loan, and desperately want to see a second. A backup to Wilson, because we can't rely on Wood. We don't only want to be putting Maxi up top neither, or pushing Joe Linton in, because then it makes spaces which need filling. If the squad doesn't improve and we walk in with the squad we have right now, where's Newcastle finishing?
The 8th, maybe 9th, 8th and 9th.
I still think we need a few more to be in that 6 to 8 category. I think if we look at our squad right now,
60 is tough, man.
Yeah.
It's proper tough.
You look at the money that's being spent as well at the moment, like Tottenham.
Oh, Spurs they're top 3 if they keep spending cash. Like, so, right, I'm just going to write City, Liverpool,
Arsenal.
Arsenal. I think it'd be Spurs next, then Chelsea, then Arsenal, then Man United. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you've got, after that, you've got West Ham,
Leicester,
Wolves, all
Villa.
And Villa, yeah, all that will improve. Like,
you throw
Brighton
in there.
Brighton after that bracket, yeah, the next.
Yeah.
So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah, I think we're better than Brighton, but you're saying that.
And we're probably better than Wolves. I think we're going to be better than Wolves.
Yeah.
We're going to be, if we're competing properly, blow for blow, from start of the season to end of the season with West Ham, Leicester, and Villa.
But then clubs like West Ham, they've got a potentially looking for Lingard, Brozier, players which we've been linked with. Like, that's them getting strengthened.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if we're competing with those guys, that's. But anybody saying top 6 because they had a good end of the season, like, you're off your head, am I? You absolutely are, man.
Yeah, like the fucking lunatics are like, oh, we're going to be pushing Champions League. I'm like, how? Like, if we do, fair play to you for having the balls to say it. But like, I don't see how we break the top 6.
We'd need like a Leicester league winning season where everyone else is shit, basically. Yeah, when no one else gets any more points. Because like City are going to get 100 points, Liverpool are going to get 99, thereabouts, something like that. Spurs are going to be way better.
Yeah,
like with Conte, how he's Perisic, and all those things, how he wants it, how he's fitting the side together.
I think Tottenham signed like 20 players or something.
Well, how long have we been seeing Basuma for on other podcasts we used to do? They've signed Basuma. Man United are going to be improved, definitely. See, that goal scored the other day against when they cut Palace open, and like Sancho finished it off. Right. Some nice tick-a-tack stuff. Yeah, so they will be improved. No Ronaldo.
Did you see that link I sent you on Twitter? Eric Ten Hag, I haven't seen it. There's a pre-season friendly, and obviously United's playing.
Palace, it was that game, the Palace game.
Is that Palace? Is it? And you, like, Ten Hag must have a set of lungs on him. Just hear him scream, "What the fuck are you doing?"
I couldn't work out who he was shouting at. Apparently, he was like either David De Gea, but I don't know if it was David or not, because I think it was De Gea basically played the long ball. Yeah. And he was booted it. He ain't allowed to do that shit. You got to be.
Yeah.
So they'll be improved. Chelsea, obviously, they are very, very good. Arsenal are ever improving under Arteta. He did it amazing, to be fair, last season.
Especially with the signs they're getting in as well. Like, yeah, Jesus is going to be class for them up top.
Quality signing. So, yeah, top 6 is 2 or 3 seasons away, I think, personally. Like,
so you look at that, we've got.
Because they also improve. Everyone forgets that they improve. Like, that's the thing. Remember, like, everyone no one else stays still. You're not playing the same Man United next season.
Oh, yeah. In case anyone hasn't realised, like, City, who don't have a number 9, scored 300 goals or 100 points or whatever. They've just signed arguably the best striker in the world.
Yeah.
And one of 2 best holding English midfielders in Phillips.
Oh, yeah, I forgot him. So there you go. So I reckon if we're competing in that the lower end of that bracket of West Ham, Leicester, Wolves, Villa, us, if we're in amongst that, then we can come somewhere towards the top of that bracket. That'd be a good season.
So that's what 7th to 10th, is it? 7th,
Yeah, 7th to 10th. Yeah, that's the reality of where it is. If you get above that, if you even get top 8 or 7th, that's a brilliant season. Unbelievable.
The Premier League is such a class league at the moment. Like when we grew up, like I remember growing up through much when I first when I first started watching football. I remember it was like the last year of the All Championship, and I remember watching the first Premier League 92, 93. But in the 90s, the Italian league was always class.
Yeah.
The Italian league was really strong.
Channel 4, Italian.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that's
yeah. So that in the 90s, and then obviously Spain had when Barca and Real Madrid bossed everything, and Bayern Munich's always had a great team. It's just the league's been shite, and
but it has been sort of cyclical in a sense that you're right. Italy have had their run for the 90s, then Spain, because it wasn't just the top two, but like I remember teams like Depo. They were good. Obviously, Rafa had won 2 league titles with Valencia.
Yeah.
So there wasn't just for a spell. England did shite in Europe, except from they didn't get any finals. But now for the last 8-9 years, it's been dominated by like semi-finals. There will always be English teams in there. It's now often been like 2 of the semi-finals have got English teams in. So it's. The dominance in the Premier League is becoming like it's the money league, isn't it?
Yeah, so the Premier League is just running away with all the other, like you mentioned, everyone's wanting to beat. It's like, you know how the NBA, like if you watch basketball, everybody watches the NBA, or everybody wants to go and play there.
Yeah.
It's becoming that with the Premier League, where it's just become such a step up by these other super teams which play in other leagues. So when we talk about wanting to win that, people need to remember, like, look, it's not just 1 or 2 teams you have to beat now, which it maybe used to be, or some of the leagues definitely are. We just got a list there. The top 6 is going to be really difficult to break into.
Yeah.
And the next 4 aren't going to be a walk in the park neither.
I think is also have to remember the investment amongst the rest of the league. City obviously have got oodles of cash, but the rest of the top 6 of the top 6, and they've been the top 6 for a long period of time, largely because they've been the top 6 during this money period where they've got a bunch of investment and they've monopolised that kind of money.
Yeah.
After that, West Ham invest, or have been investing recently. Leicester, I know he ended up dying, that guy that bought them, I don't know his name, but they're invested. Wolves have got Chinese backed, they've got loads of cash.
Yeah.
Villa, shit tons of cash. Everyone's got money. It's not as if Newcastle are like of the only guys with new money that no one's got cash. There's plenty of cash out there to compete, and everyone's gunning for those top. Everyone wants top 6. No one really, especially the next 4. Brighton are the exception of the rule because they ain't got any cash. They're just really well run.
Yeah.
So they're one that you'd coast past in a couple of seasons, but the rest of them, although there's talk of Leicester not having as much cash as they used to, running out with a bit of money.
I don't know too much about that, to be honest.
Take Harvey Barnes,
yeah. He'd get
Take Madison.
Yeah, in a heartbeat, but
yeah. Side note, but yeah. So where could we finish at, or where I think 8th or 9th?
Yeah, I'm thinking
comfortably in the top 10.
Yeah, I think with top 10, if we want to get to that 6 to 8, sort of the next mini little ring, we need to get a couple more players to be in that, because the league is just so top quality.
And just to strengthen the squad as well.
Because if we get 2 or 3 injuries in certain positions, it's looking a bit awkward again.
Yeah.
Fair enough, we've got backup in centre mid, centre half, full backs to a certain extent, but we start getting to pick up injuries like Wilson and St. Maximin. He's been prone before. Yeah.
Because even though we've got a centre midfield our strongest area, Bruno's head and shoulders above anybody else. Like even when you watch these last 2 games, man, he's doing stuff that no one else is doing.
Yeah, but you know someone's class when they get the ball and everyone else just looks like they slow down.
Yeah.
They just create time somehow.
Yeah, so much time. But Yeah, I think if we get a couple more, we'll be good enough for that sort of top echelons of that sort of bracket. Though I do think wherever you finish, there'll be a massive drop between like the 11th and like lower.
Yeah,
I think there'll be like 10 points in it. Like we're not going to be anywhere near. I don't think even finish 10th. They'll, like 12th place will be 15 points behind us. That's that kind of level. I think is going to be comfortably in that top 10.
Starting to get separated down there.
I think so, yeah.
And then finally, to wrap it up, mate. FPL.
I've done a team. Tonkin, like I've got to change it all.
So if you haven't joined already, we'll put it in. Have we got it right down here? We'll put it in the body of this text.
Yes, and it'll be in the in the body of.
We've got it here. So if you play FPL, if you don't, make sure you download the app and come and join our mini league. If you search for the code Romeo Golf X-ray 3 X-ray uniform, we'll put it in the text of YouTube, podcast, or Spotify. Wherever you're watching us, come and join us. I think we had 14 people join the first week, so because you start to get a competitive league. Have you put your first draft together, mate?
I have, yeah, but I was just throwing it together. I've got it. It's hard. This season's hard, man. This season's hard, I think.
How many Newcastle players have you got in?
I've got 3 Newcastle players. Yeah, I've got 3 Newcastle players. I've got Botman, no brainer, 4.5 million. Yeah, so he's like a cheap centre half. He's going to play 90 minutes pretty much every week, I'd imagine. I've got Maxi, but I had Bruno, but I think I'm going to go back to Bruno over Maxi. I've got Wilson. 7.5 million. No brainer. So I've got them 3.
I think every Newcastle fan does that. Starts up with 3 Newcastle players.
I remember like a couple of seasons ago when I was I think it was in hospital and Freddie was being born, and I was just like trying to throw a team together, like just literally before the clock started, and I threw and I had like Joe Linton. We just signed Joe Linton, armour on, and like I can't remember who else. Joe Linton couldn't hit the barn door with a banjo for like 2 seasons, could he?
You captain Joe Linton, were you? Like sleep deprived and haven't changed. Joe Linton's been captain for the first 2 months.
I ended up winning that league as well. I won that league. I got rid of them chumps straight away though. But yeah, it'd be good. It'd be good if we can get some decent numbers. That'd be good.
Yeah, it'd be good. Be a good league. So yeah, if you haven't joined, please do so. If you haven't already, make sure you click subscribe wherever you've got us on YouTube, wherever you've got us on Spotify, Google Podcasts. Please leave us a review. Come along to Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Say hi. You can get us on there. Follow us. We'll have some chats. There's always something going on in the different channels throughout the week. Apart from that, mate,
that's it.
Wraps all up. All right. Cheers. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you all next week.